Hey, I'm going to go over my Monday daily review of my trades, Monday, July 19th. I'm going to start with my main trade of the day for me, which was NEO. Um, I traded Apple first, and I'll go over that after this. But I did wait a good, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes to trade the open today, which I was happy about. I had a lot of energy, but um, felt like, I don't know, I had too many days last week where I entered and exited way too many times, and it got me a bit emotional. So I waited a bit longer today, and it happened to work out because I felt like the price discovery took a bit of time for some of these stocks. So for NEO, we had a gap down. So we had a sell-off day on Friday, and then we had a gap down opening down here. I did zoom out on the daily, and I did like this level. And maybe you guys have talked about this level before. I feel like I've heard you guys talk about it, but the 40-50 level, if you look back, this is the highest volume day to date for this stock. And we were around it today, and that was $40.50. You can see this big volume day. This was the low, this was the high. And this has been a good high and low level to play around for a while. It actually was the top after this big trend up. I didn't even realize that. But so just to show you here, right here, and you can see how it even played a part here perfectly a few weeks ago. And so I was playing the low of it. We just happened to be around it here. And you know, these sometimes can be general, but we'll see here that it was pretty exact here this morning. So I guess I was just looking at that as potential support or something to risk around. But basically what I saw at the open was price was in price discovery. It was staying in a range of, you know, less than 33% of its ATR. And this was the 40-50 level right here. It actually only got 1 cent below it. But I wasn't really looking at that level. I was more looking at this kind of range that was compressing. And I was thinking that it was either going to break down here, break down here with volume, or then break up, and that's what did. It broke up. So I felt like it was potentially going to give me something to work with, and I think this was what it gave me, which was it broke up, made a higher low, and then we had some volume come in. We got above VWAP, held this 41 level, was holding pre-market low, made this compression, was now getting above the compression breakout. So I felt like this was nice to risk against. I risked right here, pretty tight risk for me. And then by the time I got to here, which was near high of day and opening price, I was almost at 3-1, which I was happy about waiting for. Took a few extra too many partials though, which kind of is my problem right now, but I think I'm still working on that, and that'll take some time. But this second partial was not needed. I felt like I saw some weakness, so I thought I'd capture some more money. And then honestly, once it started going up with volume again, I probably didn't need to take this one. I've been telling myself that when I feel like I'm seeing another leg happen, like a consolidation or an ABCD, and then you have this new next leg up, it's essentially in like a momentum phase here, right? With volume coming in. I'm trying to tell myself that I don't need to partial during these first few green candles because I want to let it do its thing. I guess you do hear that they say, you want to sell into strength because then you can get those better fills and stuff. But I feel like potential rule of thumb is when you're in a nice momentum stock, why not let about 3 green candles form? I'm noticing that about 3 is sort of a good rule of thumb for it to kind of cap out and then need a pullback. So you got your breakout, your smaller green, and then your big green. And somewhere right here could have been my next partial, not necessarily right here. If anything, this would have been really small. And you can see here that I waited a while. I like that. That's something that I want to do. You had this nice pullback where it has to breathe a little bit, and then boom, it breaks up again, makes another new leg, and then you partial when you start to see it have some resistance again, and some sellers start to come in. You start to see some wicks on the top or some red, and then that's when you should be partialing. That's what I'm kind of trying to work on. But anyways, I also, once this broke out and I got in it, once it made the second leg, I felt good about this. So I tried to tell myself, well, what can I look for reasons to get out? So I drew this line with my trend line bar and put $2.50 as the ATR, because that's what it was. And this kind of just gives me a really quick way to look over and see. And I started it at the low of day, so this told me about as high as it normally gets for a normal move. And our vol was, I think, in the 130, 140% today. So it had potential to move a bit more, which is kind of what it did. You can see here that ATR was, actually, hold on here. Let's zoom out a little bit more. So you can see the ATR right here, right around the $43, which is nice. It's got that whole dollar level. So you move from that 40.50, that big daily level, and make a nice compression, break out, multiple legs up. You got this momentum going on, and then this ATR happens right around $43. So that works out well. I was running out of shares. That's why I didn't partial up here. It pulled back. This was pre-market high. So really, it was super strong for it to get all the way up here, come all the way back down to pre-market high. I mean, VWAP didn't come up and help it. That would have helped a bit. I probably would have added in sooner if VWAP was right here. But then I just started drawing some more levels in this channel here. Added in, thought I would partial as soon as it broke the channel, which that worked out pretty decently. And then I had one more partial left, and I just took it after the close. I walked away from the computer. So this was my trade of the day for me. I think I made like 5R on this, which, I mean, obviously is really good. Don't necessarily want to focus on the P&L, but I think getting a trade, entering in towards the low of day and then making it a full ATR and a bit more with an ad, I definitely should be getting, a 5R trade, I think, for my ability, maybe more. I think I can get a lot better. I could partial a lot less here. And I mean, this technically from here all the way to ATR, I think would have given me, something like a 15R. So that just shows you how quick I was partialing. So what I would call this trade was or what would I call this setup is the last few weeks were trending down, then you gap down, then you get a return to value, which was, these 3 candles here. Value was right around this $43. Gap down, tried to go down even further, couldn't continue, then reversed off that big daily level and returned back to value. My other trade was Apple. I actually liked this one. It's had a monster few weeks here, monster month. Then saw some weakness up here at the 150 all-time high area, psychological level. Had a couple sell-off days, then had a big gap down today. And so I guess I didn't have necessarily a plan for it, but what I noticed was that it sold off a bit. It tried to come back up, couldn't get higher than opening price, got back below pre-market low and VWAP. And so I basically just played these patterns, which is low of day break, continued the big overall trend, breaks low of day, retest this. This low of day was 142.50, which is a good psychological number. There were clear asks and bids fighting at these $half and whole dollar levels. So I got in at the retest, stopped just above. I liked it. It sold down pretty quick, hit 142, failed through that really quick, so I added in. It did. So this was tricky because, I got in pretty tight. It moved, got in again. My second stop was averaged in right around here. It almost got above 142 and held, and I felt like if it would have held, it would have gone right back up to 142.50. Basically, I was playing the big orders. Big lot orders came in at 142.50, kept it under, so I got short. got under it here, thought it was going to keep going short. It almost got above, then kept going. Thought it was going to hit 140, 150, and 141. It couldn't, so I got out right here at break even. I actually tried a long here because I felt like if it didn't want to stay under 142 and it wanted to stay above it, it was probably going to turn back around, and that's what it did. But I just got away from it because it wasn't, as you can see, the range of it wasn't that good, honestly. It only moved about $2. No, yeah, a little over $2. And its ATR has been like almost $3. So it didn't even really move its ATR. So I'm glad I kind of stayed away from it, even though I did almost get this reversal. Overall, I was just pretty calm today, which was nice. I didn't try and overtrade or force things, which was good. And I did try one more trade on CYTK. It was just sort of like a momentum play that was sort of exhausting out. You had multiple legs up, breaks pre-market high. These big wicks made another new high, clearly didn't keep going. So now you can kind of just play the shelves or the shoulders that it creates for a short fade. And I just try to go short here with a stop above here, but I don't know, I just felt like I didn't like it that much, so I just got out, just lost a tiny bit. It would have worked out, but I don't know. So that's all I did for today. Thanks.